A warm welcome to a new episode of Leaders of Tomorrow Season 10. I'm Ritwika Gupta. As part of our special series for Children's Day this month, we are putting the spotlight on companies that are making big waves in the kids and baby space. On the show tonight, I'll be first in conversation with Nayya Saggi, founder BabyChakra, about the baby care products market. And in the second segment, I'll be chatting about healthy snacking for kids with Shauravi Malik, co-founder at Slurrp Farm. Take a look. Thank you, Nayya, for joining us today on this very special episode centered around Children's Day.
Thank you. It is my pleasure.
So, I want to begin by talking about your business. You founded BabyChakra in 2014. So tell me, over the last, 7-8 years, what have been the changes, that you have observed? How has your business changed? And maybe if you could tell us also some of your biggest learnings as an entrepreneur.
Sure. First of all, BabyChakra is something that, began as a platform that would really serve mothers at scale, correct? And I think the insight of that idea came from the fact that, how mothers learn is through communities of care, right? They learn from bhabis, from mother-in-laws, from friends, right? On how to navigate parenting and how to navigate pregnancy in a way where they feel more informed, correct?
Right.
And that is the experience we're trying to replicate with BabyChakra. So we were creating, and what we have created is one of the largest digital platforms and communities of its kind where mothers can come together, get personalized, relevant care across every stage of the pregnancy and parenting, and learn from other communities of mums who've been through that life stage, and also equally learn from doctors who are there on a platform to guide them.
Right.
So that's sort of been the evolution of BabyChakra over the years. About 4 months back, we also launched our product play, our D2C play. So BabyChakra now also, of course, has communities and content, but also equally has products. And very interestingly, the products have also evolved through a community process. So we've actually co-created these products with probably one of the largest communities of mums and doctors. Nice. And what we brought to market is India's first artificial fragrance and phenoxyethanol-free brand, which is tested by Made Safe, dermatologically tested, clinically tested, and made with USDA certified organics. And those have gone on to become, bestsellers on marketplaces like Amazon, FirstCry, Flipkart, and of course, they've done really, really well on our own platform. So yeah, I think circling back, BabyChakra was formed on the premise of community and care, and that's something we continue on our mission of, and we see it play out in another new avatar as well.
Well, on that note, tell me, what is your overview of the baby care market in India today? What are some of the opportunities and growth prospects are you seeing?
The baby care market, my personal belief, but also what the numbers tell us, is absolutely ripe for disruption. It is a very fast-growing market. Market estimates peg it anywhere between about 4 to about 8 billion, depending on how you categorize the components of it, right? But 4 billion certainly is what I would say is the products market for mums and kids.
Yeah.
If I look even within those categories, you see, personal care, for instance, babies growing at a CAGR of 15 to 20%. You look at the mom's care market, right? The maternity market, much smaller play, but again, growing at 15 to 20% there as well, right? So diaper market by itself, about $1 billion opportunity, diapers and wipes and baby hygiene in particular, right? Again, growing at about 10 to 12%. So large markets, a lot of incumbents in these markets, correct? So you have the older legacy plays, which, when you're looking at today's, not just, millennial, you're looking at the Gen Z moms and dads, their preferences have changed over time and evolved to basically say, I want something safe. I want something, of course, natural, but better than natural. And I want something effective for my child. And this is a mother and the father, interestingly enough, who's reading the label. Right. So recently at BabyChakra, we ran this national campaign where, it was me and my daughter actually appeared on that campaign. Nice. Where we channeled that mother's understanding and the mother's need of reading the label. We said, moms, read the label. So the entire campaign is called Label Paro Moms. And, it's just, that was also found very strong resonance and connect with today's millennial mums, and it's just reached lakhs of views. It's been called out organically by mom and celebrity and Bollywood influencers. Yeah. So I think that is what we are heading to, a millennial janta, a millennial family who really understands and wants to know what is going into their kids' products.
Right. So on the flip side, what would you say are some of the gaps that you're still seeing in this market?
The gap I still see is the fact that it's still, I think, very disparate sources of care. right? So you have offline care, through your doctor, through your preschool, through daycares, through, your home communities. You have online, platforms like us and a bunch of other content and, WhatsApp communities and Facebook communities. And of course, you have the products ecosystem.
Yeah.
I think the attempt that we are trying to, and that's a bridge we're trying to create, right, is we're trying to bring all of this ecosystem together under one umbrella. Okay. And I think that is still a massive opportunity. So if you look at how we live today, we live online and we live offline, yes, but we're the same person, right? Our family is the same family. Yeah. But is there a product that talks to us and is a partner with us through this entire journey, online, offline, and also navigating these different sources of care, right, and creating a composite structure and a care protocol for me as an individual? Nice. That does not exist. Not just in India, it does not exist globally. Right. I think that's a massive opportunity ripe for disruption, and that's the game we are going after.
BabyChakra recently also had an association with CRY,
yes,
to help children's education, health. If you could talk to us about that.
So I think it's a very simple idea, at BabyChakra, and also with our sister brand, the Moms Co. We're in service. The reason we exist as brands is because we exist in service of moms and children across India. Right? That is the only reason we have a right to exist. Absolutely. And therefore, when you think about what more can we do, and I think as brands today and as communities today, we have a responsibility which is beyond just to ourselves and to our near ones and our immediate family, right? And I think something switches when you become a mother or a father, right? You look at other children and you're like, that could have been my child. Like, you think very differently about children and about how to think about care, security, food, education for children who don't have the security blanket that we can give them, right? And I think that's where the genesis of the idea came about.
Right, that's really amazing. Switching gears a little bit, I also want to talk about your parenting app. Yeah. I came across that while researching for this interview. Tell me, what is the relevance and significance of parenting platforms in today's day and age?
I think it's extremely significant, and I think the time has come. So I'll talk about 3 trends that really have shaped, and I believe is why a parenting app in today's paradigm is especially important. So the first is, of course, I've said this multiple times before, and people are now realizing the veracity of this, is that India has become a land of nuclear families, right? So if you think about where people learn, it is through, just like that family unit. So it's a husband, wife trying to desperately raise a child in the best way they can. Yeah. So they're looking for external sources of truth, right? And it may not always be family because they don't have access to family anymore. Right. Number 2, the woman and the man are both online. Right, you're looking at digital democracy, like literally data and digital democracy at an unprecedented scale, thanks to geo, thanks to the cost of data becoming cheaper, handsets becoming cheaper. This has not happened before, right? So I think you're seeing people turn online, and if you look at YouTube, it's like a default search engine for moms, to look for care. And I think the third piece is people are looking, however, for a lot of personalization, a lot of relevance. And that's where, instead of having like a mobile web also platform, or having content sites, or having groups which are, other community groups, you want personalized care and you want relevant care at right and the correct interjections for you. And that's where an app paradigm comes in very handy, right? So if you club all of this together, this is why it's important, right? Because then you have something on your mobile phone that knows you best, that can personalize and tailor to your needs, and also preempt your needs because it knows you so well, and it's very specific to parenting.
Nice. So BabyChakra has also been the focus of a case study by Harvard Business School. Tell me, Nayya, how does that make you feel, and what do these recognitions mean for your business and as an entrepreneur?
Of course, it's a very special recognition. I'm an alumnus of, as you know, of Harvard Business School. My professor, and someone who's highly regarded in the entrepreneurial space globally, Professor Shikhar Ghosh, has written this case study, right? So it's a very big, I would say, honor and a privilege to have our journey chronicled in an HBS case study and studied by students across generations at Harvard. But I do want to call out, I think, 2 things that are really, meaningful for me for this experience. One, it's a very, very rare case study that is featured on India, and then double-click Indian entrepreneur, and triple-click Indian woman entrepreneur and her journey, right? Those are very rare. I remember when I was studying at HBS, right, I would wait for a story from India or a case on a woman, and they were very rare to find. So I think it's an special privilege to have that. And number 2, I think it really furthers the cause of what we're out to build. A platform that really supports women and children and their healthcare and their nutrition and their health, the entire outcomes of a generation through intervening with women and children at scale, right? And I think it brings the gravity of what we're trying to build into focus for a very global audience.
Awesome. So tell me, as we are stepping into 2023, what is your vision for BabyChakra?
So, BabyChakra has one very clear mission: to be in service of mothers and children, right? So I think it's a very clear vision to continue on that pathway and to grow and accelerate the impact we have. So the first piece, of course, is we continue to serve more and more, mothers, and we are bringing in doctors in the entire community. So, right from where we touch the lives of about 30 million mothers, and, we have 10,000 doctors who they interact with, and they have access to care from. I think that is something we continue to sort of fine tune through our community play, through our content play, through offline, online events and meetups and live chats, etc., right? And to continue creating that personalization. And the second thing we're really looking at is, and we've seen explosive growth on just the adoption and the love for our products, right? People have actually written in saying that, how did you understand? And because we've co-created, right, we've kind of intuitively gotten what the mother and the doctor need both, right? Yeah. So, we've come out with these innovative products like a vapor patch. This does not exist before. You put a patch onto your child if the child has a congested nose, and it's clinically tested, and it's no camphor, right? But clinically tested to keep your child congestion free and give a restful night's sleep for 8 hours, right? Those kind of things have just taken on a cult-like status in a very rapid period of time. So I think the focus there is to continue building out a product portfolio and product suite to bring in more innovations, to serve mothers and kids at scale, and to really scale that business out and reach 100 crore very rapidly on that one.
Well, more power to you. Thank you, Nayya. It was lovely chatting with you.
Thank you for having me.
It's time for a quick break. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching Leaders of Tomorrow Season 10, and right now I'll be in conversation with Shauravi Malik, co-founder at Slurrp Farm, about all that's buzzing in the healthy snacking industry for children. Shauravi joins us live from her office in Gurgaon. Hi Shauravi, great to have you on the show today.
It's great to be here, Ritwika. Thanks for having me.
So to begin with, let's start by talking about the idea behind Slurrp Farm. What was your initial motivation to set up the company?
So Slurrp Farm was started when Meghna and I actually were young parents ourselves, and we really felt a lack of food on the shelves that we would want to feed our own children. And it started because we really felt that there is a way, given all that we know with technology and packaging and all of the science and research that has gone into understanding food in recent times, we felt that there was a gap, that food products for children had not changed since we were, or even our parents were children. And there really was a need to make food which was not made with lots of refined sugar, lots of refined flours. There was a way to make food that was nutritious, delicious, wholesome, healthy, for children, available on the shelf. And we felt that gap in our own lives. So did a lot of our friends who were having children at the same time. And we could see, because Meghna and I met when we used to live in London, that these products actually existed in all other countries. So it was time to bring that back and do so in an Indian context, right? To have foods made with super grains like millets and different dals and lentils and legumes that we eat in our diet traditionally, to really bring them and make them easily available on the shelf, for parents to be able to make food that they would make themselves, but really easily and on the go.
Shauravi, give us an overview of the healthy snacking industry for children. In your opinion, are there enough food options that are effective in meeting the nutritional requirements of kids? And are there enough healthy packaged food companies that are catering to children in India?
Yeah, I think that it's a really nice and interesting time to be a young kid today, because there are ever more increasing options. Some of them really good for you, some not so. I think there is a large amount of food that is, almost a leftover from when food research was not that strong, i.e. we didn't understand how so much sugar is extremely harmful for children in their later lives, for outcomes in terms of diabetes and later health. Absolutely. And so there is a large amount of food which is targeted at children, which is simply not suitable for them. And in some ways, there are also lots of young companies like ours who are trying to change that way of eating, to bring about a sort of greater understanding of what label reading and healthy eating means, what are good ingredients, what are ingredients that children should not be eating. So I think that awareness is definitely increasing, and especially over COVID, it has gotten more improved, because we all understood how health was our first defense against any illness, right? It's our best immunity. So I definitely say awareness is increasing today, and it's a really exciting time to build a company like Slurrp Farm today, when consumers are more aware and accepting of things and change in habits which are ingrained over the last many decades.
So tell me, Shauravi, in that aspect, how is Slurrp Farm helping to bridge the nutrition gap, and how are you creating your own space in the market?
So there are many exciting things we're doing today. We have almost 50 different products for children from all ages, right? So we make things from cereals, we make things from different nut powders to millet noodles and millet pancakes and millet dosas. We also make pasta, we make different types of snacks that children can take, their puff snacks that children can take in their bus tiffin, and we have a whole new range of snacks which is launching in 2023. So how we are making a difference is telling parents that, listen, at every step of your journey, we are with you. And it sometimes feels like you have to give in to junk food because there is no other way, and you feel like at least my child ate something. You don't want your child to go hungry. And so our long-term vision and goal is to make a proper dent and a positive improvement in childhood nutrition statistics. And in India, childhood nutrition statistics are appalling at both the upper income and lower income levels. There's high diabetes and obesity, and there's malnutrition on both ends of the spectrum. And as a company, we want to be able to address both ends of the spectrum over time. And we really want to just see happier, healthier children who have lifelong better health outcomes. That's really our goal.
Right. Shauravi, if you could also talk to us about your funding journey. How difficult or easy was it to get funding for a business in this category?
So I will say one thing. I think that throughout the time that Slurrp Farm, from inception till today, there is one thing that we are all laser focused on, and which is our customer, right? What is their need? And so we've never been a company that chases a valuation or a funding number, because we feel that if we solve for that consumer, that parent, that young child, then in some ways the right capital will find us. As a result, I would say that, touch wood, funding has always been something that has come to our company at the right time, in the right stages, and it was not a very challenging journey. I would also say that there is a lot of interest in food companies in India today, both within the Indian investor scenario and the global investor scenario, because we know that the population is growing, but equally the ability for people to want to make healthy lifestyle changes is increasing, and we are definitely on the right side of that tailwind of growth. And I think the other thing, as a company, we have been very focused on bringing back traditional super grains like millets and lentils and legumes in every single thing that we make, because we believe children need a diversity of diet. And we have seen that investors are beginning to understand the importance of doing that. The next year in 2023 is also the UN International Year of Millets. We have also started a new brand for adults, which is about popularizing plant protein and high protein, high fiber food made of millets and lentils and legumes. And so I think that the funding journey has been one where people have recognized that we are fulfilling a consumer need.
Sure. And are there any challenges that you still see in the business today? If you could talk to us about that, and how do you think those can be dealt with?
It takes a lot of capital to build an FMCG business, because you need money to create awareness, be it a TV campaign, be it a marketing campaign. Companies like ours have created brands, with a lifetime spend equivalent to one brand's TV campaign, right? We have created that sort of consumer awareness. So I would say that doing it in the manner that we did was definitely the limitation was almost, do enough people know about you? And can you spread the message far enough and wide enough? And as we grow, that has been easier and easier and more fun. I'd definitely say it was a challenge in the early stages, and we're learning how to manage that and how to grow. And as we grow, that's less of a challenge. So then there'll be the next thing that comes along the journey.
Finally, tell us, what is the road ahead for 2023? You've already mentioned a few things, but give us an overview of what we can expect from Slurrp Farm in terms of new products and expansion. What can you tell us?
So it's Children's Day, and so it's really exciting. Next year from Slurrp Farm, you will see a really fun book on eating and children eating healthy. You're going to see a lot of new products. So you're going to see a lot of really exciting things in the snacking space, plus a lot of different versions of what we already make. So different types of noodles, different flavors in all the things that we already make. It's also the UN International Year of Millets in 2023. So we have launched a new adult brand. It's called Millet, and it makes lots of yummy things with super grains. And so, 2023 is going to be a really, really busy year for Slurrp Farm.
It was great chatting with you. Thank you for joining us, Shauravi.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Thanks a lot.
With that, it's a wrap on this episode of Leaders of Tomorrow Season 10. We hope you enjoyed the insightful takeaways. Thank you and goodbye.